In this video, I share my results for my 7th month on Etsy and what I learned. Let's get into it. Hi, I'm Shay, and my goal is to build a 6-figure store from scratch on Etsy in 2023. So that's what this channel is all about. If that interests you, please like and subscribe and check out my other videos, as I have many other videos documenting my progress on Etsy. So this video is all about my 7th month on Etsy, which was the month of July. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't grow as much as I wanted to in this month, but I'll get into why I think that was the case and the things that I'm doing to try to prevent that in future months. So let's just get right into my numbers. So for the month of July, I made just around $5,700 in revenue on Etsy, which is definitely nothing to scoff at, especially with me still being a fairly new shop. So I'm super happy that my shop is still making income and is pretty steady, but I obviously want to grow as I look towards my 6-figure goals. So I wanted to pop up on the screen a chart more in detail about my goals and my revenue so far. So this chart, I've shown a version of this chart in previous videos, but I just have each month and then my goal revenue for that month. And this is just based on eventually hitting the 6-figure store mark, which would be around $8,300 in revenue per month. That's why my goal for December is to be around $8,500 in revenue. Then in the third column, you can see what my actual revenue has been so far. And if you're curious about my journey, please go and watch those videos if you haven't already about each of those months. I also, in the next column, wanted to show my ad spend because I do recognize that I'm spending a lot of money on ads, and I just, full transparency, want to show you what I have been spending. So that's why I'm also showing my actual net profit in the last column. So you can see that for the month of July, my actual revenue was about $5,700. I did spend over $1,800 in ads, which is my highest so far, and I will show you my ads in more detail in a second. And then after fees and everything, that leaves my net profit at $31.52, which is obviously down a few $100s from the previous month of June. Okay, so let's go over into my Etsy dashboard so you can see the July numbers in more detail. So here's what my specific stats looked like for this month. You can see my visits have been increasing slowly but pretty steadily. Same with orders. My conversion rate has actually been decreasing, and I see this month to month, and that's expected as my shop has grown. My conversion rate has gone down, as it's just my listings are getting shown to more people. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're the right people to be looking at my items, so that's why my conversion rate has been going down. Revenue kind of all over the place. I talked about seasonality, and you can see how rough the beginning of July was for me, and then just weekends in July are pretty rough as well. I'm really hoping to hit the $200 mark per day as the norm. You can see there are a lot of days where I did hit that, and I want that to be my new baseline. So that's kind of the number that I'm working towards, and I think I can hit that in the next couple of months. And then as far as traffic sources, not much really has changed. I'm getting slightly more clicks from Pinterest, but nothing really exciting there yet. So let's go over into ads. So my ads are still making a positive impact on my shop. I am totally okay with this spend to revenue ratio, and I currently am spending $60 a day across about 30 listings. Revenue from ads on a day-to-day basis is kind of all over the place, but I've seen this from the beginning. So that's why I really don't stress over the day-to-day numbers from ads, and instead I care more about the overall numbers. So that's everything for ads. So although I am a little bummed that my numbers didn't technically grow for the month of July, I do think that one of the main reasons was seasonality. And just in general, people just aren't spending a lot of money online in the summer months. And I think July is probably the worst month for that. However, I obviously want to really grow my Etsy shop even further and meet my goals. So I started to think back more to some business basics. And when it comes to product or service-based businesses, there are generally 3 ways that you can increase your revenue. The first way is to increase the number of customers that you have. So this could be done through creating more listings and marketing your items better. This could be done through creating more in-demand products and having better SEO. But overall, the idea is you just want more eyes on your products. The second way is to increase the size of the transaction. And this can be done in a variety of ways, but when it comes to Etsy particularly, if you increase your prices, you're going to increase the overall value or the overall amount that a customer spends. Or if you create larger bundles, again, you're just driving up that average sales price. And then the third way to increase revenue is to increase the frequency that a single customer buys from you. Now, this can be a little challenging in the digital product space. A way to do this is to create products within a cohesive niche so that you have customers coming back to buy from you again and again. And I have seen this already in my shop. I've had customers come back 2, even 3 times to continue to buy from me and to continue to keep an eye on my shop to see what new products I have that would work for them in their niche. But as for me and where my shop is at right now, with it still being in the beginner stages, it still is extremely important that I increase the number of customers to my shop. So I still think that is the key to increasing my overall revenue. So of course, I can't go a single video without talking about this, but the biggest way to increase the number of customers is obviously to list more items. And that's something that I'm hoping to work on a little bit more moving forward. I'm listing at least 1 item per day right now, but I definitely can improve on that and hopefully get back up to the 3 items per day. But I also want to focus on the quality of my listings and focus on creating items that are going to sell. But I'm really trying to make sure that the products I create are in demand and are going to sell well as a beginner. And this means going further than simple SEO. In my niche research video, I've talked about finding beginner-friendly products that are already becoming bestsellers for newer shops. And Erank just released a new feature that can really help find these best-selling products and really help with this research step. So I do want to show you this new feature and how I've been using it. But first, I just wanted to give a heads up. So if you've seen my other videos, you know that I have been using Erank from the very beginning. Before I even made a single sell on Etsy, I already had Erank. And Erank has a lot of features at a really good price and a good value. So I think it's a very beginner-friendly software, but then also now that my shop is growing, Erank is a super powerful software to help me continue to grow my shop. So I actually reached out to Erank a few months ago because I did want to partner with them considering how much I use their product and love it in my Etsy research. So Erank did agree to partner with me, and what that means is I will occasionally go into detail in some of my videos about some of the Erank features that I use almost every day in my business. So it doesn't really change anything, I'm just showing you guys a little bit more in depth about how I use Erank. And that also means that I do have an Erank affiliate link, so if you haven't started on Erank and you do want to sign up, please go ahead and use that link because that does help me earn commissions and help support this new YouTube channel. So let's hop over to Erank and I'll show you the feature I've been using to help find best-selling products. Okay, so I've logged into my Erank account and I'm just on the main tasks page, but you can reach this feature from any of the pages. So go ahead and hover over the competition tab and go into listings. And then it'll pull up this page, and just a heads up, I do have an eRank expert account, but I started out with a basic account, and this feature is available whether you have basic, pro, or expert. So this little intro box is helpful when you're looking at new features. It just kind of explains what this feature is. So with this feature, we're going to be able to look into a shop's listings and look at the price, the tags, the title, and most importantly, the number of sales and the revenue. So this is basically how you can spy on different shops and spy on competitors. So if I am specifically looking for beginner-friendly products that are going to be worth my time to list, I want to find products that are already selling well for newer shops. So in order to find those newer shops and analyze them, there are multiple ways to do it. And one way that I do it is in Etsy, and I've shown this in my, I believe it was my product research video, which I will link so you can check that out to see this process in more detail. But basically what you're going to want to do is in Etsy, search for the product that you're interested in potentially selling and look for those first page listings that are from newer shops. Please pay attention to whether or not the product is on ads, because you want to see organic products that are doing well for new shops. And to see if it's a new shop, I just like to look at the number of reviews, and if it's low, like in, several hundred or less, then that's a good indication that it's a newer shop. You also can pop into the shop and look at reviews and look at their earliest reviews to get an indication of when they actually started making sales. So the example that I'm looking at here is for a wedding planner template, which in previous videos we've identified would be a great product to sell, and I just want to confirm that beginners are doing well with it. So I've found a newer shop that I want to research further now in Erank. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just paste the shop name into here, or if there are specific shops that you already follow in Erank, you can select a shop there. And then I'm going to click Analyze Shop Listings. And now it's going to show the shop's listings. And now we can easily see the best sellers. So I just like to sort by estimated sales, high to low. And you can see that this shop has quite a few really awesome selling products. And their top selling product is a wedding digital planner. So that would just further confirm that this product would be possible to make a lot of money on as a beginner. And you'd want to do this process with multiple shops to get, multiple data points to kind of confirm this assumption. But then from here, there's lots of great information. This can help during your SEO research phase. You can easily grab these tags. You can grab keywords from the title and just make note of them as you're constructing your own titles and tags. And this is interesting. So it looks like this one is in German. And for those of you that are bilingual, this could be a great opportunity to make best-selling products in other languages. And obviously you would want to research it further, but that's cool that this is coming up, and this would be a great way to niche down even further into a space that potentially could be less competitive. So I would go through and do this process with multiple newer shops that were selling a product that I was interested in. And if I saw a lot of data like this, where we have a fairly new listing that's making, almost 200 sales and thousands of dollars, then this would be a great indication to sell that product. And just a side note, this data is an estimation, but it does give you a really good insight into what are top sellers for newer shops and then what you can create as a newer shop. So I absolutely love this feature, and it's a feature that I'm using regularly now as I'm doing research and planning what products I want to sell. So I think this feature is just so powerful in helping me to make sure that the products that I'm making are what customers are already buying and are in demand and likely to sell well. And it's kind of like working smarter, not harder. So instead of just listing a bunch of random items, trying to see what works, I'm really trying to be more strategic and list what I think has the highest likelihood of selling. So that concludes this video. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for your support on my Etsy journey. I'm wishing all of you best of luck on your Etsy shops as well. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Thanks. See ya.